come on. Welcome everybody to this Saturday show. As as we progress, it's I try to do one every Saturday or Sunday or whatever. And here we go. We got two viewers, so that's a good thing. And the stream looks excellent. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Now, the last setting I did is I molded this skin, this bottom block. I was going to show you how to cut it off the buck, and I still will, but I've already cut it because I got anxious, to be honest with you. I wanted to see what it was going to look like. But this is the beginning of the tucker. Uh, I still think I need to taper this bottom block down some more. So not only does that help in aesthetics, it's also getting rid of wood. So less wood means less weight. And back here, this is where we don't want weight, period. So let's get to how I cut it off the buck. I still haven't done my members only video. I'll try to get to that today. I'm waiting on suggestions on what exactly to do. I thought because today is going to be basically a frenzy of work, there's plenty of stuff to show, such as bell crank geometry and horn installation and so on and so forth. So at the rate I'm going, if there is a gnats foreseeable, I could have this ready to go. I don't know. It'll definitely be ready here in a couple of months. So this is April, May, June. It'll be ready in June, so possible. If it flies the same as the other one, there won't be any adjustment, time. So I just basically taped this block on here just to see get an idea what it was going to look like. I still have to, I've made 3 rudders for this thing, and they're going to be working on a 4th because I basically needed this right here to get the perspective of what the fuselage was actually going to look like. I drug this thing to work yesterday and took my air die grinder and ground out the motor mounts. For the simple fact I didn't want to make a mess here and make a lot of noise with the moto tool. So I did it at work, but I'm going to show you how to cut out the buck and add the bulkheads. And I hope you guys get something out of my building series. I get a lot of comments saying that I'm helping people, so that's basically what it's all about. If you'd like to see more, become a paid member. In the description box, there's a link to that paid membership. And once a week, I'll do a special video for them, and once a month I'll do a special live chat, and we're probably going to be giving away some stuff to members of the channel. So if you want to get in on that, sign up. Okay, So how do you get it off the buck and make it fit perfect? Right here. The bottom of this board is 3/8. If you used quarter, use a 1/4 inch piece. If you use 3/4, use a 3/4 inch piece. I just CA'd a razor blade to that. You lay the buck flat on the table. You keep this flat on the table, and you just trace around it, and it comes out absolutely perfect. Now remember, this is 2 pieces of 1/16 glued together with my tight bond method, where I got the wood. Well, the wood was wet basically when I took it out of the tub, and I got 50-50 tight bond, so it's 50% water, 50% glue, and I kind of put it all over the whole thing and then wiped it all off. You guys saw, you thought, well, heck, there ain't no glue on there, it ain't going to stick. Well, there's plenty of glue because the water, as it evaporates, draws the glue out and bonds the 2 pieces together. It's an old furniture finisher's trick. So this piece here is stronger than a single piece of 1/8 inch. I mean, it's real strong. And it's just as light. Let's see how much this bottom block weighs. It's probably around 20 grams. 19. It's 19. It's the first time I weighed it. 19 grams. Try to take a solid block and carve this and make it come out 19 grams. It'll be very difficult. So now we need some bulkheads to go inside here. Which using my method is relatively simple. So we can make these out of 1/16. We're going to stand them up like so. You want the grain running vertical. So we'll trace around this and get it cut close. I should have went over closer to the edge. I guess I still could. Then I get 2 out of that one side. So you just trace the basic outline. It'll fit absolutely perfect once I get it cut out of there and sanded. Yep, time for a new blade. This blade is dragging. It's terrible. 100 pieces of Viamed scalpel number 11s plus a knife blade off Amazon. About $7. And it's not a paid advertisement, it's just what I use. Delivered to your door, even in times of crisis. Okay, there's one bulkhead, and set it back in there because it's going to be a little large still. So we actually need one for the front too. And like I say, it doesn't matter if you cut it big because you're going to sand it to shape. Anyway, it's real simple. The glue that you use to put these on will weigh more than the wood. But I go ahead and put a lightning hole in them anyway, just 'cause it looks cool, even though nobody else see it except me. And nothing's lighter than air, so well, there less helium. You can get some helium to inject in it. So no wood weighs less than some wood, no matter what weight wood it is. That's my theory on the trailing edge pieces and the leading edge sheeting and all that too. The less and the ribs, the geodesic wing. It's not that it's that much stronger, which it is. It's that there's less of it. So you're gaining the same strength with less of the wood. All right. So now we need a front one. And I'll go ahead and set it down on the table and then cut 3/8 off the bottom, because this is going to have to be done separately. This is where the cowl mates. Yeah, oh well. All right, 180 grit sandpaper on a T-block. You don't want to use 80 grit here, because you don't want to distort your foam buck, because you know, I reuse this on different projects. That is the nice thing about molding. Once you make the buck, you have it forever. So if you decide to build that airplane, or one similar that can use that part, you don't have to remake it. All right, so that's 3 of them. Down to the last one here. This is the last one. It'll give me a fit. Sure enough. Yeah. Okay, you want to be that way? We'll do it like that then. Never give up. You're always in the fight. This one here I probably ought to make out of 1/8 inch, seeing that I'm using a sub-rudder tail wheel assembly. I'll have to look at it and think about it. It won't take much to... Let's compromise. Let's make this one, instead of 1/16, we'll make it out of 3/32. Yeah, it's all the way in the back, but this is what's going to take the punishment of the tail wheel, so... Now, most of the time, you don't have to do this because you're running a plywood floor. But seeing as that I'm gluing a sub-rudder to the sheeting on the outside, I need some strength. I glued the styrofoam to a piece of 3/8 rock hard RC balsa. You know, you got that wood that comes from when you buy wood, if you buy a lot of wood that's just not usable for building competition airplanes, and I have some of it here still. Well, it's always good for something, for bucks, or in this case, framing up the backbone for the mold. Okay, so now I'm a little more comfortable with that. Okay, see that sanded down perfect? That will fit perfectly into this. But I want to make these come out on the bulkheads that I have laid out on the fuselage, because the bulkheads I laid out on the fuselage differ from the backbone on this. So I have to do this. I got to move this wing. So we'll get out my foam block. Shut that off. Too many wires here. I am all tangled up. Goes this way. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So now we need to make a determination where you want this skin to lie. I want these bulkheads to lie right on top of my bulkheads here. But as I stated, the spacing is slightly different, which is not really a problem. So okay, that one's perfect. So we'll yep, that one's perfect. This one's a little large in the width. So because it's in a different spot. Always something. Okay. Okay, this one's a perfect fit there, so let's make a mark. Side of the fuselage. And if I'd have thought I was going to reuse this, I could have done it different. I could have sanded that buck to the same size, but I kind of want to keep it the same because it's not that hard to retro fit these things in here. So make a registry mark here where the bulkhead needs to go. We know this one's the correct size. Perfect. Don't have to do anything to that one except for sand down the skin a little bit. Okay. Yep, perfect. Remember, these things are directional. If you sanded the buck a little bit out of shape or whatever, nothing's ever perfect. So, it's close. So, we need my little square. Where did it go? Yeah, we could use this one, I suppose. Oh, we'll use my... I have a little machinist square here somewhere. Just perfect for this job, and I can't find it. There it is. And I know it's here because I've used it. Okay, wick in the CA. And the first bulkhead's down. Oh, I was going to make a lightning hole in it. Not that it would matter because it doesn't weigh anything anyway. But like I said, where's the tube? Here we go. So you just take a piece of brass tube, you skive the end. Let's make sure I get it on the center line there. This is over the top, but I'm going to try to build an over the top airplane, so we'll see what happens. Just wait till you see the paint job on this thing. Okay. That's too big. I don't think I have another piece of tubing, smaller piece. That's even bigger. Well, we're going to forego the holes. I don't want to take that much material away, so it'll live this way. It'll be fine. Weighs nothing. When I glue this bottom block on, I want it to sit down these two surfaces to mate exactly so it becomes a monocoque structure, top and bottom, so that you can't twist the fuselage. Not that I'm an engineer, but I built enough airplanes to know that an egg is stronger than a cylinder. Come on. Okay, that's in there. Now, if you look here, this lip, it's sticking down about, I'd say 15 thousandths, 10 to 15 thousandths. So we have to sand this. Didn't want to do that, but I didn't get it cut off the buck quite right. That's okay. So we'll sand it. So the next one goes here. And our job, or my job, is to make that fit perfectly. So that goes there. This needs to be relieved, and it's a few thousandths too big. Okay, it's too wide here, just by a few thousandths. So what I did is I cut a little sliver out of that area. We're going to push it together like that and CA it. That way it fits perfect. Yep, that's it right there. So I brought it in, I don't know, 15, 20 thousandths, so that it's flush with the sides here, so there won't be any sanding, if that makes any sense. Let me get a better picture. So this was too wide by a few thousandths, so I cut a slit in it and then a slit right next to it, just a tiny little sliver out of there, and I do mean tiny, a 32nd of an inch. I pushed it together and put a drop of CA, and now on the register marks, the width is absolutely perfect. Of course, we have the longerons in there, but you don't want to sand into your longerons because, I mean, I'm going to, but they're kind of there for strength. Okay, so now I need to make registry marks here. Now this piece is going to be way too big. Not way too big, but it's going to be big because it's in the wrong spot. So I need to sand that down to make it fit. Matter of fact, it's way too big. I need to take probably 1/8 of an inch off of it. So when you're laying out your fuselage, what I'm getting at here is make sure your bulkhead stations are in the same spot. But nothing that piece of sandpaper can't fix. And by the time I'm done here, it will fit perfect. It's just more work that you really didn't need to do. But heck, it wouldn't be airplane building unless it was hand fit. There you go. Yep, just a little bit more. A little bit more in the width down here. Don't take too much though. Okay. See how it fits in there? Perfect. And you want to, like I say, you want to have those bulkheads over the top of your other bulkheads. Now, is it too wide? Yes, it is, by a little. So how are we going to fix that? Like I showed you. So let's make a center line mark here. My little square. Center line to center line. We'll put it on the tick mark. Oh, too far. And if it doesn't fit, it's only wood. Break it out and put a new one in it. But okay, now I already know it's going to be too wide. And it's not wide by much. It's 1/16 of an inch on this one. So we're going to come in here with the knife. Let's see if I can. I need you guys to see this, how I do this, instead of me just telling you. All right. On that center line, take the blade up there, and you're going to cut right straight down next to the center line. And then you're going to start in the same spot, and you're going to cut on the other side of the center line. Then you're going to knock that piece out. I knocked about a 30-second. If that's not enough, we can make another cut. And you just push it together like that. That's not enough. Almost. So we'll cut some more out of it. Yeah. Cut too much. Darn. It's alright. We'll figure it out here. Okay, use some thickset CA, because that'll hold it. That's in the right spot. Hit it with kicker. That's it. Perfect. Yeah, it's a little wide still. I must have let it loose. I did. I let it loose before it dried. So let's do this. I expect stuff to work, and then sometimes it just doesn't. Okay, we'll hold it for a second. I let it loose too soon and it opened back up. That's it. Perfect. Okay, now for the last one. So it goes right there. Oh, I told you I took it to work and I ground out. I'll show you. I had the motor mounts blocks sitting up here. I ground them out with my air grinder, snap-on air grinder, and that way, heck, it didn't take no time at all, less than 10 minutes. I went in early and ground them out before the bell rang. Okay, so now we need the tick mark back here. And it basically needs to stay the same width. So we are way big again. So, start sanding. This bulkhead here is probably the most important because of the tail wheel. So I want a real good fit on this one. And it needs to be straight up and down too. At an angle, it stands a chance of breaking. Straight up and down, it transfers all those shock load from the bottom of the skin to this bulkhead, to this bulkhead, to the top block, to the rudder. If it was leaning, the weakest point is going to break, and it would probably be this and that bulkhead. But if it's in a straight line, it has a better chance of withstanding, which I don't see. I mean, all this, you guys, I watch these videos and they're putting all kind of lumber in their airplanes to keep them from breaking. There's no need. Just don't hit the ground. This airplane's not built to crash. Remember, I have never had a wing fold. I have never had a bell crank pull out. Not to say I haven't crashed, because I have. And for some stupid stuff. Forgot to put a nut on my elevator horn. And that caused my profile to hit the ground. That was a bummer. Operator error. Okay, we're almost there. Almost. Turn it around and see what happens. Yep, pretty good. Okay. You know, I'm trying to get it as close as I can so I don't have to do a whole lot of sanding. But there inevitably is going to be sanding. You know, there's no way around that. But don't make it any harder on yourself than you have to. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I better take a couple of swipes more off of this. Normally I don't have to do this because I've planned ahead and built the buck to match the fuselage, but this time I built the fuselage and forgot to match the buck. So that's what you get. center line. How many of you guys out there actually know me and have seen my airplanes? There's been a few on the chat here. Like Charles, I let him fly my airplane at last year's Nats. Okay, let's glue it in. So it was 19 grams before I started. We'll see how many grams this added. Can't be much. Perfect. Now we got a space back here of about an inch. That's going to be a solid block, so that the shock of the tail post, or the shock of the landing gear tail wheel, will be transferred to the tail post. So that fits on similar to that. So straight down from the tail wheel through the tail post. In the odd instance that, well, that doesn't matter then. That didn't have to be 3/32. We didn't give nothing up anyway though. Let's see what it weighs. Shouldn't have added but a gram. Maybe couldn't have added 2 unless the glue added 2. Started out 19. Well, that's not possible either. Oh, still 19. The scale said 18. So it didn't weigh, so we're talking grains. It didn't add anything. So now I have to cut off where the cowl line goes and add a bulkhead in the front. So let's turn it around. Now for this one, I didn't have a line there for a bulkhead, so it has to be eyeball sanded. So I want to figure out where I want that to go. So normally I have the first bulkhead ahead of F3, F2, or whatever you call it. So now we have to make a bulkhead to fit in that space right there. So line these up. Tick mark. Tick mark. So we'll make that bulkhead out of 3/32, which is probably not necessary, but whatever, because you do a lot of handling up there. Don't make it out of pine. That would probably work. Oh, we got somebody else said something here. Let's see what the chatters say. Hello, camera angle could be better. Okay. Camera angle could be better. How about there? Asking Craig Biswick, how about there? Is that better? Well, I'll wait till he gets back to me. So what happened to the buck? I've lost the buck. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to take this. I don't have one for the front, so this is a guess. Pretty educated guess, but a guess nonetheless. Let's do this. It'd be better to set it on the table instead of trying to juggle. So I can't go back, so we'll cut that off. I'm going to have to hand sand this one anyway, so I don't need to sand it on the buck. And the reason I'm going to have to hand sand it is that this is at the end of the other airplane, and so basically I'm using another mold buck for this airplane, but we're adapting. So I didn't have to make another buck. Somebody said something here again. Let me move this wing out of the way. We'll get to that here later on this afternoon for paid members. Okay. Thank you, Philip. If anyone could fly like you, build and paint, they would win every time. No, I don't win every time, so I win a lot of local contests, but no nationals yet because I just don't practice enough. The level of flying at the nationals goes way up. And the guys that win deserve it because they spend a lot of time out there burning fuel. I don't always agree with how the judging goes, though. It's like they're sleeping. Okay, I have a rough cut bulkhead here. We're going to sand it with 80 grit because it takes forever to knock down an eighth of an inch. Okay. All right, it almost fits. So what I got to do here? Turn it around. That's one thing. It really does almost fit. Almost fits. So we'll knock that high edge off there. Nope, too far back. Let's see how we're doing on width. Perfect. Okay. We have a different problem with this particular bulkhead. Because I cut it, there wasn't a spot to cut it from. I just cut it by eye. It's up here about a 1/16 of an inch. So we'll just, it's only wood. We'll just make a tick mark here. Take my machinist scale, lay it across, and trim it off. And it should be perfect if I can get it if I can get it trimmed. Yep. Okay, I'll set it back down in there. It actually could use a little more. Watch watch the video Arnold Manufacturing. They build a molded F1, and the guy cut styrofoam, a real airplane, F1 with a four-cylinder Continental. Really swoopy design. Gave me an idea. You know, we got all these guys building composite airplanes, and everybody's complaining you can't find wood. So I might build a composite airplane using the Arnold method with building the plug and then pouring the mold and then pulling the carbon. That's perfect. Okay. So now I think maybe next week or the weekend after we're going to be back to the Saturday at John's. But see, I don't get as much done when I go over to John's. We kind of, I mean, it's good to get out of the house, and it might be time to do that anyway. Okay, I want to make sure that it's going to be on the line. It is on the line. I need to make sure it's straight because this is our cowl parting line. Glue it in. Might just go ahead and work on the cowl today too. I need to come up with a members only video, but I did a community post, but no replies on that. Okay, so now I have my bottom block. It's 19 grams. It's high right there on the fuselage. Anyway, so now I need my back saw. Ooh, don't want to go too crazy there. Don't want to cut into that other piece. So let's cut it way out here. Yeah, we can sand down to the bulkhead. So all the wood we've added, we're taking off right now. So it should be down to 18 grams. Okay, got that down good. Now sand to the bulkhead. piece of 64th ply goes on here. We might could do that now. We'll see how it turns out. This is the cowl parting line. Okay, let's switch to 180. It's a little high there. Remember, flush fits, smooth fits, stronger, lighter. And I don't care what anybody says, it's all about weight. I think we'll put a triangle brace in there too. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Perfect. Perfectly square on there because we squared it to the bottom of the skin. Okay, let's see what it weighs, and then I'm going to add one piece I don't normally add, but I want to on this one because I only use 16th for this. I should have used 3/32, but it's not a problem. We have 18 grams, just like I said. If you don't believe me, we'll show you. I want you to carve me a block at 18, oh, it's 17 grams now. Come on. Why is it, oh, there we are. There it is. 17 grams. Started at 19, ended at 17. A little over a half ounce. That's pretty good. And it's a nice shaped block. So now I have to take the long sanding bar and sand down till which I didn't want to do, but I didn't cut it right off the buck. I need to sand it down till it's flush with the bulkheads. So, for my mistake of not paying attention, I have to sand. 320 on a long bar. That's alright, it'll be better fit anyway. You can also put the sandpaper on the bench if you have a nice glass bench and move the piece back and forth on the sandpaper. Didn't take long. Just sand till you hear the bulkhead. Oh, almost sanded too far in that one. Shoot. I did sand too far. Oh well, scab a piece on there. Matter of fact, I'll scab it on all of them. That way we know it fits. Okay, let's stop with this. We'll tape it on and then see what what we got to do to get the cowl to fit. So this needs to be straightened out as well. There's a lot of little finagling when you build these. If you want to build a nice one. But sanding is okay because that means weight is coming off. And that's a good thing. Let's get a little more aggressive with some 80 grit. And make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's see, we got some chatters over there. Says, good morning all. Good morning, Dennis B. Community posts are new to me. I was supposed to write somewhere. Yeah, reply. Or you can just say in here, it doesn't matter. It's good to see my Stunt Hangar badge out there. I love that. I was thinking about doing a bell crank install and push rod because I have to get that done. I have to figure out the flap bending. Push rod length from bell crank to horn, and I can't do the horn in, we're not there yet as far as horns to elevators, flaps to elevators, but we'll get there. Okay, let's see how it looks now. See if I made it worse. It's gonna have to have this. Yeah, gonna have to sand the center of this out. Oh. Bunch of finagling to get it to fit right. I can pull it down and glue it, but I really don't want to. What that does, it puts undue pressure on things. I'd rather it just lay on there perfect. I know, people in hell want ice water, but that's what I want anyway. So we'll sand until it fits. Got kind of a turn in it here. getting closer. If you were here, you could see that the grain pulls across the thing that way. What happened was, is when it dried, the grain put tension on it, so it's not perfectly square. Which, like I say, is not a big deal because we just sand it straight. You can't cut it straight, but you can sand it straight. And you say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, if you cut it, it relieves the tension on it, and it'll warp worse. Yeah, a little bit more. Like I say, it would work right now, but I just don't want to have the tension on it. I'd like for it to fit perfect. And that's pretty darn close. A little bit more right here. It's ever so close. What's this side look like? Yeah, got a little bit there too. I think we're gonna go with that the way it is. It's pretty close. We're not building a watch. Well, I guess we could tape it on and see how the cowl fits. Let's do that. All right, what do we got over here? Bell crank and push rod would be good. Okay, I will do that this evening, Craig. The first members video will be done this evening. Going to be a video, not a live stream. And that way I can do things a little different. And I'll upload it either tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on how much work I can get done. But once a week, we're going to be doing the members only request videos. So let's tape this puppy down here. How the heck did that get off that much? Shoot. Gotta push it forward. Oh, that's right. I made it longer. So there. Okay, we'll do the back first. Once I show this bell crank setup that I use and push rod install, you'll go, well, why haven't I been doing it like that all my life? The old way of bell crank floors is dead. They are dangerous. Okay, we got that on there. Registries on there. Pull this over here. Ah, shoot. Because this is a prototype airplane, that's that's basically the only reason why I'm doing this, taping things together, because I have to make the parts on the fly. There's no plans. I have to design them as I go. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so let's see how the. Now I haven't glued my cowl together. If you guys have been paying attention to this series, I did the cowl layout the easy way and so on and so forth, but I haven't done anything to it because I had to get to here. We made it plenty long. Like I say, I'm designing as I go, so I have to do everything on the fly. So we need to do what here? Well, first thing we're going to need to do is straighten this line out. Then we got to straighten this line up. A little more. What's going on here? A little more. So I need to take some off the front. And the best cowl maker that I've ever seen is Ted Fancher. I don't know what method he uses, but they sure come out nice. I guess he just uses patience. Okay. Okay, that fits pretty good. Let's make a mark here for the back. And my little square. I guess we'll have to come off this because that's what I'm using as a datum. So, any questions? Ask them now so I can answer them. This stuff is all pretty basic, pretty simple. It's a matter of just, you know, it's a process. You can't paint the airplane before you glue it. So, you got to know what steps to go through to get to the end. Now we we left that pretty tight. It's pushing it up. It's so tight. But that's what sandpaper's for. We can always take off. It's pretty hard to put back on. Let's pull it down tight. Okay. It's pretty good. I really appreciate you guys spending your Saturday with me. Of course, what else would you be doing in these under these circumstances? Okay, let's do the other side. So it needs to be angled a little more up this way. We need to straighten this out too. And a little bit more. Like, subscribe, share. Join the channel with a paid membership. Super chats are always welcome. This this building stuff takes a lot of my time. I don't mind sharing, but hey, help me out here. Stunt Hangar's struggling as far as the donations go. I had to stop doing the kit giveaways when I upped the server space. I would like to do them again, but because I don't sell anything, there's no income. So I'm doing these videos to help supplement that. That, and I want to see everybody build good, but Keep grinding. It'll be alright. Okay, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. He's got a guard. Everybody remember Under Siege? When he gets locked in the meat locker? It's like 40 degrees in there. He'll be fine. He's got a guard. I really want to white glue that. I don't want to. So I need to put some register marks on it. White glue it. I need to cut a block for the front here. The camera angle is not all that great, and I do apologize, but I do need to cut a block for the front here. Maybe if I turn them lights on over there, it would help. He'll be fine. He's got a guard. Okay. This is designed by the seat of your pants. Only way I like to fly. TLAR, that looks about right. Okay, what do we got over here? Under Siege, I remember the girl. Oh, yeah, the girl out of the cake. Yeah, the girl out of the cake was super hot. He'll be fine. He's got a guard. Dumb Marine. Had to take a drink of soda here, guys. I'm thirsty as hell. We've been on now. Let's see how long. Where's my mouse? Why not white glue? Why not slow cure CA? I explained that. I'll explain it again. Been an hour and a half. We got 13 watchers. How many guys want me to continue? The reason I don't use CA on a cowl. Back when I was in grade, or first we go first through sixth, and then seventh through ninth. So middle school or junior high, that's what they called it. Junior high. I had a shop teacher, Mr. Franco, and we were making bowls on lathe in a wood shop. And Mr. Franco said, you always laminate white glue to wood so they become one, because it penetrates the ligna. The water relaxes the ligna, the glue gets inside there, and the molecules combine to become one piece of wood. That's why when you glue cherry, oak, and maple together, 3 different types of wood, and you spin it on your lathe, they look like they were all one piece, but they really weren't. So when you sand and carve this cowl, it doesn't fall apart in your hands, so it's a whole lot stronger and a lot less weight too, because we're going to use that Same method as I used before on the sheeting, water and 50-50 white glue, and that draws it all together. When the water evaporates, it sucks the grain together. So I hope that answers your question on why I use white glue for laminating. You could probably get away with some type of finishing resin or epoxy finishing resin, but I don't think I'd trust it as much as white glue. It's just what I've done for over 50 years, ever since junior high school. Mr. Franco. I did see they had this other kind of glue. Oh, they had Wellswood contact cement. And yeah, I guess. I mean, it worked kinda, but I did see separation of wood on the lathe, and when you see one of those big discs fly off there and hit the ceiling, roll around the shop, you go, well, white glue is probably a better idea. So that's why. I still got a scar on my arm from junior high. It's right here underneath this tattoo here, where a smart aleck 7th grader, we were drilling wood on a drill press with one of those wide 1-inch paddle bits. He was pulling down on the handle and it was smoking. He took it out and he goes, see if this is hot. And he put it on my arm. Man. Certain things you just don't forget. Of course, a little fight ensued. I got in trouble, but that's all right. Forget the kid's name, but I won't forget the experience. Well, let's see here. Let's get an idea what all this rigmarole is going to look like together as I design on the fly. I think I want to take that top block down today too. Let's see, is it better if I back up? Or, I mean, camera angle is so tough without a cameraman. Let's see how that's gonna, if that appears to look like the other Tucker underside. The Tucker has a real nice shape. It comes back. So I need to whittle on this some more. Let's see, it goes like so. So that'll give you an idea of where I'm at with that. I still haven't taken a drink of my soda. I said I was going to. Remember, I want you guys to try to talk for an hour and a half straight, 2 hours straight with nobody to talk to. All right, Craig. I will see you later. We'll catch you on the next live stream, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But we're going to definitely do the bell crank install video for paid members only. And that'll be available on the channel probably tonight. Anyway, we got to have this sticking back 4 inches. So got to come back a little bit more. And the rudder needs to come up to about here. Yeah, that other rudder I made was way short. It's going to take some thought. Uh-oh. Got the cough. Got the crud. Let's see here. We don't want too high. I guess that's about right. Yeah, that's going to be about right for the height. Why? Let's find them pins. Let me take a drink of soda. I'm getting hoarse. See, this rudder I was making here would have been too short. I don't know. Maybe not. Would have been to there. That may have worked. Where are my pins? As soon as I get the size, I can build that part. What are my goals? Am I going to get this ready for the gnats or not? If there is a gnats. Be nice to take 2 tuckers. The classic and the big one. Ah, there's a pin. Okay, let's check it out. So we'll just push this forward. So in all actuality, I'm going to stand back and look at this. That may be the right size. What do you guys think? Does it need to be bigger? Does that rudder need to be bigger? We know we're going to cut this off here, so let's go ahead and cut that and get it. We'll cut it long, so in case there's a problem. Of course, there it is. Just made it lighter. Cut a big stick off there. We need a piece in here. So we can get a better idea what it's going to look like. That's not the piece that goes in there. It's just a piece to block out the light to get a better idea. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. Let's get a longer piece. There we go. The creative madness. Okay, it's not not right. What's not right is that the rudder is leaning back. It needs to lean forward. So we need to cut this off, change the angle. At least now I get an idea what it looks like. Before I just was using my imagination, not sizing. Let's see if that's enough. I don't want it too big, but I want it big enough. I guess that's tall enough. It's still leaning back. It needs to be leaning forward some more. So let's cut another 1/16 off that. If I get what it's supposed to look like, it'll be easy to make. Of course, the headrest blends right back into the rudder. That's better. What do you guys think? Is anybody even watching me anymore? The rudder is going to be an open bay. I'm not going to cover it with balsa wood. I don't have any of that good super 3-pound wood. So it'll be an open bay ribbed structure covered with Japanese tissue. That looked more period correct for that airplane anyway. But hmm. Well, let me know what you think. Is that the right shape for that rudder? 8, 9 viewers. Let me know what you think about that rudder. Is it big enough? Pull it back a little bit. Does that rudder have the same shape as this one? I gotta step back some more. Don't want to screw nothing up. Let me look here. Yeah, I guess. They look similar. Let me turn this on to see what the sound is like. Yeah, still working. Okay. I think I'm going to end the stream for today. I'm getting kind of tired. It's been an hour and 45 minutes talking to myself. Like, subscribe, and share. I'll do the paid membership video tonight. That'll be a bell crank install and geometry and flap horn video. And if you want to become a paid member, there's a join button down by the subscribe button. Hit the join. It's $4.99 a month or $9.99 a month, or if you're a big tipper, $24.99 a month. Whatever you can do, it sure helps the channel. I appreciate you watching. It takes me a lot of work and a lot of time to do these videos. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you learned something. To be honest with you, that's probably the most important thing is, are you learning something? Anyway, till I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.